Pain and Glory is a 2019 film by Pedro Almodovar. It's set in Madrid in the present day and follows a director named Salvador as he grapples with the hardships that come with entering old age. He suffers from a myriad of physical and mental health problems, most notably spinal pain, choking, and depression. The film deals with a number of central themes, accentuated by Salvador's ailments. These include loneliness, memory, addiction, family, and coming into one's sexuality. In this analysis, I'll explore these themes along with the various metaphors associated. Age and loneliness are naturally and intrinsically linked. With this natural progression comes a loss of familial links and a fading of old flames. These changes bring about a sense of aloneness in Salvador, greatly contributing to his depression that persists throughout the film. His sadness is masked by a private, strong face, making it all the more heartbreaking. In spite of Salvador's friend and employee Mercedes, who provides him with a sincere support system, he still succumbs to his physical and mental pain and leads on drugs in order to self-medicate. Addiction is another extremely prevalent theme throughout the film. It first rears its head when Salvador smokes heroin for the first time with an actor he used to work with named Alberto. He instantly becomes an addict, and it isn't until the end of the film that he seeks help. Smoking heroin makes Salvador remember events in his childhood, bringing us to the next theme. The film centers around memory. Memories of Salvador's mother as a younger woman, memories of his childhood home, of the seminary where he was educated, of the young man Salvador tutored, and eventually of his mother's death. It's during Salvador's heroin-induced dreams that we experience these flashbacks, allowing us to get a sense of his childhood and how he got to be who he is. His family is extremely poor, residing in a rural village in Spain. From a young age, Salvador expresses concern over having to potentially join the army, as so many young men from poor families had to do. An important memory is presented towards the film's end. Salvador sees the young man he was tutoring, Eduardo, bathing, and realizes his attraction towards him. Salvador begins working on a new film towards the end of the movie called The First Attraction, and it centers around this memory. Although the topic of sexuality is really only hinted at throughout most of Pain and Glory, its significance becomes extremely clear at the end. Salvador only ever had one lover, who we learn was a heroin addict. The relationship was simultaneously painful and life-affirming for Salvador, and after their split, he remained alone for the rest of his life. The lack of a romantic partner lends to Salvador's loneliness greatly, and learning about his former lover's struggle with heroin makes Salvador's addiction all the more upsetting to witness. The physical ailments associated with aging are another contributor to Salvador's alienation. He's a proud man and wants to preserve his dignity, which is why he never seeks out help from the few people in his life. In spite of his brave face and stiff upper lip, it's easy for the audience to see Salvador's pain. In the beginning of the film, he monologues about all of his symptoms, noting that spinal pain is the most serious of them all. He struggles to get in and out of cars, to tie his shoes, and to eat. He chokes on everything, causing Mercedes to fear that he has cancer. In the end, we learn that his upper spinal cord is to blame. And once it's treated, Salvador is well enough to start working on a new film, something that he had wanted to do for a long time but had been unable. Having the operation on his throat is symbolic of Salvador getting his voice back, and this notion becomes all the more gratifying when we see the flashbacks throughout the film had actually been scenes from Salvador's new project about his life. In spite of the film's darker themes and the gravity of everything Salvador endures, this twist at the end gives a whole new meaning. Life is long and people have to deal with a lot, but once Salvador finally reaches out and accepts help, his life becomes worth living again. We see him grow from a poor yet happy and capable child into an old man who's been troubled but has a new lease on life. Pain and Glory is about life, the whole of it. Salvador had to experience hardships in order to grow, and he's a better director for it. He explains that the best actors aren't the ones who cry, they're the ones who fight back tears. This restraint is the same way Salvador approaches the people in his personal life, and it's also present in his work, which explains why he's such a celebrated director. At the same time, though, he has to let go of some of that restraint in order to heal. The film has a lot to say, but its exploration of this contradiction might be its most important statement. Pain makes people guarded, but to achieve glory, one has to be willing to open up and let others in.